Hello, and thank you for joining me for today's or tonight's practice. We are going to start slow, inviting an overwhelming sense of peace and calm over the body as we either start this practice in a Sukhasana, easy seated pose or position with legs crossed. Or maybe you desire something a little bit more light. You could have the legs extended a bit out in front of you. Or you have the option to start this practice in Shavasana or corpse pose or laying down. If you decide to lay down, you have the option to put maybe a little blanket over the eye. You also have the option of a pillow or a full body blanket to put under the head, under the feet, or over the body, just depending on what you would like to have to support yourself tonight. We're going to start, if you'd like to have your home setting comfortable in either as peaceful of a place as you can find, or somewhere where the lights are low, or you can turn them down low. So it welcomes you into this time and practice and the space, no matter where it may be, to be able to really settle into the body. This is an introduction and part of a series that will go on for maybe, five or so videos that allow us to not only come back to our bodies gently and bring awareness to our bodies, but also just allow a connection with breath and self and movement and how the body is feeling, how we are feeling mentally, how our breath is feeding into our bodies and leaving the bodies. So this gentle vinyasa series is going to be a wonderful practice to just really for anybody, whether you're someone who's been practicing yoga for months, years, or someone who's just diving in. It'll have a little bit of meditation aspect to it. So as I stated, you are welcome to get nice and cozy for this nice little practice today. And it won't go too long. We're going to start, though, with allowing yourself to settle in with maybe a hazy gaze or closed eyes, or with use of any of the props as I mentioned before. This practice will also be more of that focus on sound and what words I'm saying and how they allow you to move and feel your body. So you don't even have to pay a lot of attention or so much attention to what I'm doing here. This is a great example of that, as I am sitting in a Sukhasana, cross-leg position. But if you would like to find any other way that makes you comfortable, please do so. And we will begin to just start the practice with bringing awareness to breath. And with every breath, just becoming aware of how the body is breathing, how it's accepting the oxygen, and how it feels when the breath leaves the body as you inhale and you exhale. So you could be finding yourself getting comfortable in that space. Maybe you are already settled into your space. Start to settle into the body, settle into whatever's surrounding you, whether it's bed or chair or yoga mat, carpet. And really just start to welcome that awareness to breath. Are your breaths shallow or short? Are they deep? Are they long? Do you feel as if the oxygen is moving in to a certain part of the body more than some other part of the body? And that welcomes awareness into what is happening with the body. Maybe you move from a shallow breath Or you begin to notice how the jaw, the mouth, the neck, the shoulders are feeling. Maybe with every breath you start to welcome that relaxation, rolling back those shoulders. If you're sitting up, taking a deep inhale and exhalation to find yourself relaxing into your seat, not hunching over, or maybe you're laying down and you're allowing the body to really sink in into the mat underneath you or whatever is underneath the body. And then just continuing to move through that breath, taking these last moments to bring awareness to the body, to the breath, releasing any tightness or tension that you may come across. Maybe now, as you're getting this sense of how the body is feeling, you start to welcome short movements or gentle movements into the physical body, still keeping that awareness on breath, but maybe as you welcome physical movement into the body, that's where you send your breath. The breath that is going to renew and rejuvenate you for this practice, but still keeping you at ease as we come into our bodies gently. Taking those last breaths that you need to welcome movement or motion into the body. If you already happen to be upon your back, then you can stay there and you'll gently allow one knee and then both knees to come into center. If you are not already going on to back, this practice will be predominantly lower to the floor, but if you find yourself upward in seat, you are welcome to adapt as needed. You could, if you're sitting up, you could pull the knees in close to chest, or if you're in chair, just give the same moment of self-love and adapt any poses that you would like to. But otherwise, you're more than welcome to gently use the body. If you had something over the eyes, maybe you release it from the eyes, or you can keep it on there and the eyes closed. It's all about feeling the body. But no matter where you are, I'm going to allow one knee possibly into chest, and then the other knee. Hands maybe come around the knees or the shins, or maybe they just wrap around self. And then you allow a little side-to-side movement. Allow a little massage. You maybe still have the pillow under the head, which is wonderful support. The shoulders are still sunken into the ground or mat or whatever is beneath you. Just gives a little massage and awareness into the spine. Maybe you focus that breath on flowing down the spine into that area. You could also allow the knees to round away from center and come back in one direction or the other. Or you could allow stillness in the knees and bring wiggles to the toes, or movements in the feet, or ankle circles in one direction and then the other direction. You could do the same for the hands, maybe then wiggling the fingers, maybe taking some wrist circles in one direction and then the other, or maybe you bring the hands together, palms facing one another, and the fingers clasped together, and then you allow the palms to reverse and face away from body, and you welcome a nice stretch. And then maybe the hands come back down to shin or knees, and you just take that nice little side-to-side rock once again. Find your breath. And then we'll go ahead, and no matter where you are, you'll come back to center. And depending on where you are, adapt this as you need. If you're on mat or floor, you'll fall, slowly taking the body onto one side or the other. Take a moment here, find the breath, and then when you're ready, slowly using the support of your body parts to lift back up, coming into what would seem as if we're going back into a crossed legs pose or Sukhasana. But we're instead going to go ahead and allow the hands to support the body, maybe coming to the sides, palms and ground or palms and mat behind us. Shoulders start to gently press down. Maybe the hands go behind you here at an angle and the elbows are unbent and you start to gently lift the chest. It's up to you, or you could keep it more relaxed. And we're just going to allow the feet to come out in front of us, knees bent towards the sky, and we're going to take some slow windshield wipers, very slow. So you're going to have awareness of the body, feeling a slight twist in the waist, inhaling and exhaling, maybe taking a pause, coming back to center, adjusting what you need, and then taking those knees down the opposite side. Take a breath. Once again, flowing through center and dropping those knees nice and slow to the right maybe. And maybe the left, whichever side you go, we're going to always go both sides to balance out. And one more round if you haven't done so already. Taking another nice twist in the waist. Starts to feel a little stretch through the arms also. Gently coming back to center. Going to extend and lengthen the legs away. You can adjust your arms however you need to help support the body. Once again, if you have props, you could take a pillow or blanket underneath. Or we talk a lot in yoga about really having the hips over the lower body, and so you could have a pillow or blanket right underneath you here if you roll up the mat, and it gives you a little lift. So no matter what, you can have soft knees, or if you even have a blanket or block, you can put one of or the other underneath the knees to have a gentle bend. I'm going to keep my feet soft. I'm just going to take a nice breath and gently crawl forward, easing into a seated forward fold. Nothing crazy here. And then once I get my hands closer to the feet, I flex the toes towards the sky, the heels connected to floor. I adjust or bring the legs in closer that I need. And just welcome just a nice, subtle continuance of the fold here. So taking my time, inhaling up, exhaling deeper into the forward fold. Finding breath, taking any movements or motions that you need. Maybe another inhale, lift up. Exhale, forward fold deeper. And inhale once again, lifting up possibly. Exhale, forward fold. Maybe taking another 2 to 3 deep breaths here. You're going to gently, on your next breath, inhale, exhale, roll up that spine. We're going to take the hands down by sides. We're going to gently keep the fingers pointing forward. Press the palms gently into the mat. Drop the shoulders, lift the chest. Heart towards ceiling or sky. Head lifts towards the light, possibly. Find your breath. 2 to 3 deep breaths. Can still be a challenging practice if you haven't moved yet, or if you've done a workout and the muscles are on the verge of fatigue. Gently release. After that third breath, you're going to go ahead, gently allow the feet to fall out to one side or the other. The hands will come forward. Now, once again, if you have props and you would like something under the knees, feel free to do so. Otherwise, you're going to have the knees about hips width apart, waist width apart, aligned with the hands. The palms are gently pressing into the mat once again. Your vision is down towards the floor. You're going to have the elbows unbent. You're just going to find your breath, find your tabletop for just a moment. Feet maybe flat behind you. Take a few breaths here, maybe 2 to 3 deep breaths. Starting to feel the engagement of the abdomen, of the belly, pulling that belly button gently into spine. Engaging that core, feeling the breath move through the body. And when you're ready, we're going to go ahead. We're going to allow the tail to go back over the heels. You can keep the feet flat, or you have the option to curl the toes for a little stretch in the toes. And it's up to you. I'm just going to take my tail back nice and slow. Feel the belly resting onto the thighs. We're keeping our thighs for the child's pose position in alignment with our body, with our hips and waist. The hands come out a little bit in front, but nothing too crazy. Again, you have the options. Use any props that you'd like. Release the head down center. Find your breath. Make 2 to 3 deep breaths. After that third or so breath, you're going to gently and slowly raise up just for a moment. We're going to take a combo vinyasa, thread the needle. So it's going to be more of a gentle thread the needle here. So you're going to keep the tail over that lower body. You're going to take and extend for just a little stretch the right arm out to right side. And then you're going to take it and pass it underneath the left. The tail's going to go back, so you're not going to bring the temple down like we traditionally would in a class possibly. You're going to allow that right hand to scoop underneath the left arm or armpit. You're going to drop on that belly, or maybe you kind of curve a little bit to the right side. The left arm can stay nice and long. And you're just going to settle into the body and breath once again. 2 to 3 deep breaths here. Adapt as you need. Now, after that third release, take your time. Gently bring the right arm back into center. Back to child's pose, vinyasa. 3 deep breaths. And after that third or so breath, once again, gently raise up. Now you're going to bring that awareness to the left hand. So you may come off the heels with the tail just a bit coming into a little lift off the tabletop. We're going to take the left hand this time. Extend and lengthen it out to side. And when you're ready, scoop and thread it underneath the right. Take that tail back once again. Maybe the right arm extends and lengthens. Find your 3 breaths or so here. After that, gently come back to center with that left arm, vinyasa once again. 3 or so breaths. Gently release from your vinyasa, coming back onto all fours, possibly take any lifts of the knees off the mat if you need. Gently bring the hands back to center, pressing the hands back into body. Now we're just going to take some nice body rolls or circles. Take them in any direction you need. I like to call these fluid cat-cows just to welcome this stretch. And then take it the opposite direction. I love, like I said, to balance out. So we're going to go ahead and gently walk the hands forward, taking the legs back. We're going to come onto belly now. If you have any contradictions going on with the belly, please be cautious and mindful of self. anyone who is expecting, please be mindful of self. Maybe instead you just take the hands forward and stay up on the knees, or maybe you come gently onto forearms and hold here instead. Otherwise, gently coming down all the way to floor. We're going to bring the belly nice and low. We're going to have the legs, give them a little space. The arms are going to come. We're going to go right into a nice Sphinx, gentle Sphinx pose or so. So you're going to have the palms gently pressing into the mat. The elbows are nice and close into the body. You're going to lift the head forward and just gently flatten the legs, flatten the body. Gentle lift into the chest. Hold for 3 or so breaths. You can have those closed eyes once again. You can have a hazy gaze. Whatever feels good for you. Then when you're ready, once again, you'll gently release. You'll bring the vision down. You'll lift with that tail. You can extend and lengthen. You're going to keep a little bend in the arms here. The elbows may even turn outward a little bit. So take that tail up. Drop the vision down towards the floor for just a moment. Find a breath, and when you're ready, use the hands to bring them closer in. Another breath, and gently come back, bringing the hands closer once again. We're going to welcome a nice little full body stretch here. So you're going to allow the toes to curl underneath. You're going to have the hands feeling nice and sturdy. And we're going to take variations of downward dog just for a nice little stretch. So you have the option. You could always stay on all fours and just take any movements that feel well for you. Or you could go slow and allow that tail to start to go back and then lift up towards the sky. Your toes are going to get a nice stretch here. And then you have to the lift of off the knees gently. You could take the tail back, getting a nice stretch. The heels are up. And then if that feels good, you could start to move into a full downward dog if you'd like. And take any motions, any stretches, any movements. Maybe you come forward a little bit for a soft plank and then come back. Find your breath. You could walk or pedal the feet. Bend and unbend the knees. Depending on where you're feeling tight, you could allow the tail to sway. You can adjust the arms. Palms pressing into the mat, fingers pressing into the mat. Find your breath here. Maybe eventually you allow the heels to want to connect closer with the toes. You'll find your downward dog. 3 or so breaths. Engage that core gently. And gently come back onto all fours. Take your time here. Be slow. Be loving. Be careful with the body. The feet can go back. You can take a little stretch if you need, or a little vinyasa. Do whatever you need for self. Do what you need. Then we're going to gently allow the feet to fall out to one side or the other. Give the hands a little rest. Maybe get some little clenching and unclenching of the fist. The legs are going to make their way back out in front. Take any breaths you need, and then you're going to keep that left leg long. You're going to keep it gentle tonight with our spinal twist. So we're just going to allow that right leg to gently come in closer, that right knee to gently come in closer to chest. You're going to wrap the left arm around the shin as you twist the body towards the right. The right arm is going to go behind you and gently come to floor. Adjust as you need. Find 3 or so breaths here. And then adjust. You can take it a little bit deeper. Maybe take an extra breath or two and gently release. Being careful and cautious and slow with the body. Extend the right. Take the left in. Right hand wraps around chin. Back arm extends back behind you. Maybe take it a little bit deeper. Adjust the body as you need. 1 or 2 more breaths. And when you're ready, gently release once again. Take any motions or movements freely through the body as you find fit, as you need. Maybe need a little bit more fluid. Maybe need any little stretches or anything. It's going to welcome any new, fresh rejuvenation and renewal into the body. take a moment to welcome stillness into the body once again. If you'd like, you're more than welcome to keep the feet extended and lengthening away. You're more than welcome to gently, one by one, welcome the feet closer to body, whether the bottoms of the feet are connected or maybe go back into that nice Sukhasana pose. Or if you'd like, you're more than welcome to be easy into the body and gently, maybe if those legs were extended out, you adjust your body on your mat and gently lower down into that space once again, finding a nice Shavasana. A little core work on the way down possibly. But whichever pose and position is going to bring you peace, start to bring awareness back to just your breath after taking any moments or motions or movements that you needed in the body. Maybe you go and you welcome that hazy gaze or closed eyes once again. And no matter whether sitting or laying, maybe you welcome the body to just kind of sink into the ground or mat or floor or chair, what have you, underneath you. We're going to move back from our slow connection with self into that wonderful place of calm and overwhelming sense of peace that you would like with self and body today. We're going to head towards the finishing of our practice, but if you feel as if you would like to stay within this space and place for yourself, please feel free to do so. If you are ready to take these last few breaths with me and then move on with your day, you are also ready to do so, whether that means you're heading out for the day or you're headed to bed after this practice. This is just a wonderful way to welcome this very, very, very gentle vinyasa with connection of self, body, awareness, and breath. We'll pick up and move differently through this series as we connect with ourselves and add a little more of that breath-body awareness connection. A gentle vinyasa flow, as I've mentioned before, is wonderful for any part and time of the day and wonderful for any part and type of human, no matter where you are at in your day, in your place, in your practice. Even if it's just you listening and taking in the words as you find your own way through flow. Do what works for you, but otherwise we'll continue to allow ourselves this comfort, whether in Shavasana or corpse pose or a seated Sukhasana, and we'll allow the body to just take a few 3 to 5 deep breaths. Breathing in renewal, rejuvenation, and relaxation, inner peace or calm. Exhaling anything that no longer serves you, no longer serves the body, the mind or thoughts or spirit or soul. Wherever or whatever allows you to find some peace, while also getting some movement in and welcoming even circulation of blood flow and mobility. As you find your breath and connection to grounding in earth and self and air, may this flow ease you into the rest of your day with light, peace, smiles, and love. Namaste.